Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, I understand with the pandemic, it's hard to keep your teeth white. As much as you brush your teeth, you lose the whitening strips and all this other stuff. You just need something that's more effective. Brytn Smile is here for you. If you guys check out the link that's located in this video, you will have a whitening packet, a whitening kit to be exact. In this whitening kit, it comes with a chart to measure where your teeth grade is at from yellow to white. We're here to help you. It also has 3 gel pens to assist you in whitening your smile, and it has a charger. A charger for what? For your LED mouthpiece. So go ahead and grab your kit, put it in your shopping cart, and when you do that at checkout, the promo code is BTSI for 25% off. Again, BTSI for 25% off.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the B.TS show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Now, you guys are watching on YouTube. You notice my background looks a little different. I'm at my mom's house. Here's why. Unfortunately, my house is affected with the new variant. The wife is okay. My son is okay. Glory to God. I didn't catch it. I don't know how, but God is good. My family is doing all right. So today, we're just going just a little location. Switch it up just a little bit. And also, I was planning on making a return for the season premiere in a couple of months, but I have something planned, a little surprise for you guys later on in the show. But before we get to the surprise, you guys know what you need to do. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to build a platform. We're going to reach our goal. Matter of fact, speaking of the goal, we are still on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, I'm going to give one lucky person $100. Just one. And so you guys know I am a man of my words. Once we get to 500 subscribers, I will give away $50 to one lucky person. Also, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Clubhouse. Go ahead and follow me on those platforms. And you guys still know my Cash App. If you feel the need to donate any money, my Cash App is right there, the BTSI show, or you can send money through Super Chat. Also, we will be taking in callers. You do waive your right to privacy, so keep that in mind. Speaking of which, this is the first. We are now live from not only on YouTube, but on my Clubhouse as well. You go to my Clubhouse, so follow me. You will get the same simulcast that we're doing. Now today, this is the part 2 of a conversation that I had on Clubhouse yesterday. What's worse, a simp or a pick-me? Y'all saw the thumbnail? That's a perfect example of a simp or a pick-me. You have Steve Urkel and you have Myra. We will go into further details about that, but before we do, let me show you guys a new commercial from FNX. Today's episode is brought to you by FNX. If you're looking to lose weight, gain weight in the most healthiest way possible, FNX is where you need to go. You're talking about a section you're looking to gain weight. There's a section you're trying to lose weight. There's also even a section you're trying to better your performance when you're out there trying to be the best you. Please go to the link that is in this video. But also, you have to look the part. We're trying to unlock that inner athlete in you. Speaking of inner athlete, Hey, you know how we get down. So, fill up your shopping carts. Once you get to checkout, use the promo code BTSI for 15% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout. All right, let's get into some quick hits, shall we? This is how you know I've been busy. I had no idea the Weeknd was bringing out an album this Friday. Dawn FM. Some of you guys saw the album cover. You went from having a good time in Vegas to looking like that. I'm interested to see where he's going through with this project. Do I expect it to be better than After Hours? Maybe, and that's a big maybe. I like After Hours, but for him to top that during the pandemic and with what he went through earlier, it's going to be interesting to see that. I don't know. I don't have no, to be honest, I have zero expectations. That way, I'm not going to be disappointed. But he will be live streaming his album tomorrow on Twitch. I'm not going to do Twitch. I got too many accounts to worry about as is. I'll wait till 11 p.m. my time for it to come out. Y'all wait till Friday at midnight. I'm going to get a little bit earlier. Now, let me talk about this. This is another continuation from Clubhouse Room on Sunday. Dylan Gonzalez accuses Trey Songz of rape. We all know about Trey Songz, quote unquote, alleged past. We have to say alleged because he was never found guilty of anything. Now, people brought up that he did settle out of court for one case, or maybe even multiple cases. It round up allegedly to $10 million. I'm saying alleged because I don't have that exact um, source with me right now. But whatever the money is, I'll be perfectly honest. If I'm innocent, I'll be damned if I give you a penny. I'll give it to my legal team. I'm not giving you a penny. But nevertheless, for someone to settle out of court, that doesn't mean they're guilty. That just, it can mean a multitude of things. I want the case to go away, or I'm running out of money. And I want this whole thing to go away. That does not mean Trey Songz is a rapist. Legally, of course. So for Dylan Gonzalez to come out on her Twitter and say Trey Songz is a rapist, I have to make this announcement before entering 2022. Where is the evidence for you to make that accusation? I understand if it's timelines and it's history. Do you have any evidence? If you don't, ladies and gentlemen who are victim of sexual assault and rape, I can empathize at best with you guys, but you cannot make those type of claims without any proof. So I'll keep it a buck. If I was Trey Songz, I'm suing. Now here's a problem. Dylan Gonzalez might have played in the WNBA. She ain't got that much money, to my knowledge. Well, to anybody's knowledge. So how much money can Trey Songz get out of her? Probably not much, but it is what it is. I think he just needs to set an example of telling people to shut their mouths until they get evidence. I know that's not the popular thing to say, but it's a fact. And of course, when do I care about pleasing other people's thoughts and opinions? Speaking of thoughts and opinions, Fresh and Fit podcast had Asian Doll. Here are my thoughts on Fresh and Fit. I knew about them before everybody knew about them because they're in the manosphere. So I was fully aware who they was via through Kevin Samuels. They stand 10 toes on what they say. The problem is how they come at talking to the females, but being a hypocrite at the same time, not pretty much not living their raps. That's why I'm looking at them like, what you guys doing? So with the Asian Doll thing, I saw the video. He told these girls chill with the side conversation. They continue to do that, especially with Asian Doll. And what's this guy's name? Or whatever his name is. He looks He looks Arab, but he might be black. He put his foot down, told the girl to knock that shit off. Asian Doll stood up for her, and he stood his ground with Asian Doll. I hate to be that guy. I gotta give him his respect. It's his show. If he says sit down, relax, stop doing things like that, it is what it is. And I'm just received information from Diego. Appreciate that. He's from Sudan. He decided to put his foot down in regards to how he runs his house. I can't do nothing but respect that. Now everybody is killing him, and the other gentleman, his co-host, is from Barbados. Thank you, Diego. Now his these videos come out about their preferences of what they want in a woman. I get it. I understand it. Could they deliver that a little bit better? Sure. Now, does this mean they hate black women? I'm not going to say they hate black women, but I can tell you one thing. If you do love them, you understand when it comes to talking to black women, there's a certain mannerism you need to have. Or you're just going to live with that. What's what I'm looking for? You're going to live with that consequences. So they made the decision. They got to live with it. Now, before we get into the commercials, let's take it to Clubhouse real quick. We have my people Diego, Afro, Omar on the stage. Millie, Lola, Mixkid, you guys want to come on stage? You're more than welcome. We just got through talking about The Weeknd, his album coming out Friday. One of Trey Songz accusers made an accusation towards him with no evidence. And legally, by law, Trey Songz is not a rapist. I hate to say it, but legally, he's not a rapist. And also, the Fresh and Fit podcast, I heard that's been a topic of discussion on Clubhouse. What's you guys' take on those topics?
I'm not up to speed on what happened with the Fresh and Fit podcast. It's just been so much happening in the past couple months. What happened now?
With Fresh and Fit, now they put up some old footage of them talking about their preference in women. They just don't prefer to date black women. And they made some derogatory remarks like I'm not into black, I don't deal with the dark, that type of dumb shit.
I mean, honestly, right? Black women aren't into how they think they cute and sexy. Man's point of view, yeah, I guess. But from a woman's standpoint, and I'll speak for women when I say this, if they didn't have that seem like they had money, they would be getting their preferences like wrong. Black women have a higher preference than how they look, honestly. And I'm talking about both of them at this point. So yeah, like black, I don't see why their opinion about black women even matters. Because I mean, most white men don't prefer black women; they prefer white women, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm not stressed out about that. But what is the real problem with them and what they say?
The thing about Fresh and Fit, matter of fact, I wrote their names down. I can't believe I'm giving them this much credit, but I got to be respectful. Myron and Walter. Myron is from Sudan, and Walter's from Barbados. The thing is, they're part of the manosphere and the red pill community. Now, I don't have a problem with the manosphere. I don't even have a problem with red pill. But the problem is, what's your goal? What are you saying? And how are you saying it? How are you delivering it? They will put a woman in their place, but granted, they have a bunch of Instagram thoughts on their show. So it's easy to check these females. You can't bring no normal, everyday black woman up there because you'll get cut. You'll get sliced in the throat.
Correct. And I know when I started seeing their videos on I know I didn't even know who they were. The first question in my mind is, why do they always have these bimbo type females on their show? And they're never actually talking about anything. It's just them two. And I'm like, what's the point? And I didn't even know what the show was about. But then when I started understanding more, I'm like, yeah, you couldn't have, just a regular chick up there because it would be embarrassed, let alone an intelligent chick. Like, for real. And I mean, it's like, they clowns for real. Literally, they're clowns for real. And I don't mean that like how people in the streets say, that nigga a clown or something like that. No, I mean, like, it's literally, like, it's a minstrel show, and it's for entertainment purposes only. I mean, they can say I'm trying to help men and all of that, but I done seen other men check them on some serious masculine stuff, and I mean, I wouldn't be with no dude that got checked that hard by another dude, like, honestly. So I find it hard to even care about their opinion because it's that low on a totem pole for me as a black woman. And honestly, even if I was of another race, it's like, again, if you didn't have that money coming with that check, you wouldn't even get a sniff from me. But I get it. Some people probably are triggered by them making colorist, female, racist statements and stuff like that. I get that. But to be honest with you, it's like they're the wrong people to care about. They just are.
Can I weigh in on this topic?
Yeah, go ahead, Afro.
I heard what you said, Lola, and I wouldn't say that they were racist. I think that they're prejudiced. But correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the whole purpose of dating was to discriminate. The whole point of dating is discrimination. Like it is based on prejudices and what you like. I just think that I don't know why you want to police people's preferences and prejudices or what they like. There's that's what that person individually would like to lay with when they go to bed at night. I don't think they own any type of political correctness. They don't have to be woke. They don't have to do any of that stuff. That's how they feel. That's how they do it. I don't know why people give so much thought to somebody who doesn't want them. Like the amount of free rent, real estate that's occupied in your brain, that person occupied in your brain because somebody who doesn't want you told you that they don't want you. I don't really get it. Like, there's like plenty of other people out there. Move on with it. Get on with it. Like, I don't comprehend this one. I'm sorry.
I think it's triggering for some women because when we really put feet to the pedal, it's like these dudes, just from the look of it, they wasn't remotely even getting looks from chicks, let alone ass, before they got some sort of pseudo, celebrity. And it's like,
Well, Lola, let me ask you a question.
I just don't understand why anyone even cares about them just in general. It's like, so what? They said they don't like black women or they don't prefer black women or they think we're open niggers. I don't care. Like, who are they to care about?
Lola, let me ask you a question. Were these women that they said, whenever you decide to be with somebody, right? And you pick them to be with them for whatever preference, right? Right? The minute you pick one person, you're kind of discriminating against another person. And those women, even if those guys didn't say it, they weren't going to get picked by some other guy they weren't going to get picked anyway, right? For whatever reason, somebody was not going to pick them, and somebody might pick them. So I don't get it. Like, in order for this to work, you have to be someone's type, and you might be someone else who's not type, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, as I see it, like the fact of the matter is, they were gonna not get picked by the people who didn't like them in the first place.
Right.
It's the same game. So I don't know why anyone is thinking about people who say they don't like them. Like, think about the people who like you.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. It's like they wouldn't be remotely picked by black women, even if they said all they care about is black women. They wouldn't be picked anyway. I mean, just in general. But it's like, okay, they don't like black women. Is that a loss for us or something like that? Now I tell you who I would get upset with, and I would start feeling like, okay, we need to have a meeting. If certain other men was like, well, I don't like black women. Like, it's certain other men, yeah, I'm gonna catch whole feelings over if they go on the upside. fresh and fit. I don't know about that.
But why would you catch feelings?
I'm just saying there's some men that are a priority and some men that are not.
What men would those be that would make you feel some kind of way about that decision?
Ephraim, is that your face on the Okay, Ephraim. Okay, if you started saying, okay, I prefer white women, I would kind of feel some kind of way.
Because I'm handsome and you felt like you lost me to the other
I would say, damn lady, you got meeting over here. Now, I'm not fronting. I'm just saying, some men, certain men, I mean, and then other men, it's like, yeah, if they leave us, we got a problem. Other men, we can give them the Becky, it's fine.
Yeah, but here's the deal, right? Like, you can't be all things to all people. Like, somebody who's going to pick you and somebody who's not going to pick you.
Right.
And, it's just how it works. Like, there's just always going to be, it's like a job, right? Not every job is going to hire you, and not every job you're going to work at. It's the same thing if you think about it, right? So when it comes to, like, this whole, like, dating game, there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like you for whatever arbitrary reason.
But you know what? Okay, I'll give him credit, okay? Because I know how I feel, but I'll give him credit, right? I can kind of see where their statement, given where they're at in the manosphere, whatever that is per se, I can see how in this current present day climate, right, with the history of the world, especially the U.S., I can see how their statements may be. They might be honest statements, right? But I can see how they were immature statements because everything ain't meant to be said everywhere and at all times because it might go over into something else that you're not even trying to, stir up. And right now, it's like the statement comes off honestly like they're saying other women are innately better at birth than black women. That's how it comes off. I know they didn't say that, but that's how it comes off in this climate. And honestly, when you do that, right, and I've seen something with them that happened recently with some white girls, what you do is you're telling white people that you're better than us. And white people aren't really better. It's just they got other issues that you're not privy to. But then when you become to him, like one of them dudes, I think it was the shorter guy, then it's like you get your feelings hurt because you realize ain't nobody perfect out here. Every community has their own issues. And it's like, hey, if you want to deal with it, that's your choice. But at the end of the day, don't put white women or non-black women on no pedestal. Like they don't come with their inherent problems that cause equal separation as black women. That's why I would never do that, let alone openly in public. I was called to do something like that by a non-black guy to talk down about black guys, and I had to tell him straight up, like, don't get this straight up, like, from you don't mean like don't ever get this game twisted. So I'm saying it don't come off weird.
Well, I would say this because we're about to roll another commercial. But here's my take. They have shown that they are very vocal with how they feel about women and all women. They will check women in their faces. I know the caliber of woman you're checking. I want you to try to check Diego. I want you to try to check Lola. I want you to try to check Millie. Tell me how that's going to turn out. It's right. I got to call EMS just to come pick them up off the side of the road. That's all I'm saying. The quality of women they check in, I'm not impressed. But real quick, that was interesting, and I appreciate the feedback. But let's go ahead and play another commercial. Then after that, we're going to get to the topic that I've been waiting for. Today's episode is brought to you by Wavilo. Of course, you guys see me with my Bakari watch. Looks nice, don't it? But if I wanted to go out, just a casual wear, and it's kind of chilly outside. Not bad. Let's add some more color to it. Ooh, that's gonna look good for the photo shoot. Get with the brand that's versatile, that can cover you in all areas of fashion for men and women. So go to the link that's in this video, fill up your shopping cart. Once you do, The promo code is BTSI for 50% off. I repeat, BTSI for 50% off at checkout. All right. Now, real quick, you guys, before we get into the topic, I want you guys to pay attention to the bottom ticker. This is a particular Clubhouse room called Bring the Smoke, B.TS, run by King Chicago. If you're on Clubhouse, tap in King Chicago, go follow him, and also go follow his space, Bring the Smoke. It's a safe space for content creators of all walks of life. We are going to be doing something coming real soon. It's going to be a conglomerate of content creators. So please bring the smoke. B.TS on Clubhouse. The head guy of the room is King Chicago. Go follow him. Now, let's get into the topic of the show. What's worse, a simp or a pick me? So, to my knowledge, we have multiple of definitions of a simp and pick me, and we shouldn't. So, I'm going to give you the real definition of a simp. A simp, a slang insult for men who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women, especially out of a failed hope of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them. So, yes, that's the definition of a simp. Some people like to say boyfriends are simp. Some people like to say fiance, husbands are simp. Will Smith is the exception. Other than that, no husband, no boyfriend, none of that. Those are not simps. Those are men playing their roles because that's what they get paid to do. Excuse me, not get paid. You know what I'm saying? That's in the job title. That's what they have to do. Now, a pick me, a woman that is willing to do anything for male approval. She will embarrass or throw other women under the bus to achieve the goal. Now that we have a good definition of what a simp and a pick me is, I need to ask people, what is the difference between a husband and a simp? Here's a big difference. If you go back to the definition of what a simp is, especially the last sentence, out of a failed hope of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them. That is not the foundation of what a husband is. So there's no way there's some similarities between the husband and simp. One has more title because one comes with some sense of pride. You can't be proud of being a simp. That's why I laugh at these dudes on this app that be catering to women. Now, the difference and similarities between a wife and a pick me. Well, here's the thing. And let me look at my Clubhouse room while I tell this to the people in here. Here's the thing about pick me and a wife. They share a lot of similarities because ultimately they are here for the husband. Now, you want to say there's one thing that pick me has, a pick me doesn't have, that a wife has, is discernment. Meaning that a wife will speak her mind and advise her husband on something that he probably missed. A pick me is not going to do that. A pick me is just going to sit back and let the husband do what he got to do. That's why I'm an advocate of men running their household like a benevolent dictator. Meaning, you married a woman, an intelligent woman, who has some smarts to help you out with some of the shit that you done miss. Man, we great, but we ain't shit without women. I will openly admit that. There's some things I'm gonna miss that my wife tells me, hey babe, do you remember ABC? I'll say, yeah. What about D? I'm like, fuck. Now, Regardless, the decision is ultimately up to me at the end. But if my counsel, aka my wife, brings some information to me, it is my job to listen. It is my job to take into consideration, but it's ultimately my job to make the right decision. A pick me is not going to do that. A pick me doesn't have discernment. So, with that being stated, what is worse, a simp or a pick me? A pick me could be a quote unquote lazy bum who can play her role in the house. A simp is only doing it for him. He's just looking for sex. And if a simp don't get sex, that becomes a dangerous man. So, in my opinion, well, actually, with all the information I presented, there's no way in hell a pick me is more worse or dangerous than a simp. Because a simp is a ticking time bomb who's ready to explode. If a woman, it quote unquote explodes, a man, we can walk it off and live to see it another day. If a woman is with a simp, I will worry about that. Like, seriously, I will worry about that. Now that we all have my definition of what a simp and a pick me is, Ephraim, you say you have a bomb that you wanted to drop. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so here's the deal, right? A pick me for a man is a gift from God. A pick me is a woman who uh, is trying to get picked, is trying to get the man that she wants. She's not too cool to act like she doesn't want the man, so she goes after him. I think that that's how it should work. I think that the woman should chase the man, to tell you the truth. I think that there are not that many good men out there. And if a woman sees that in a man, then she should try to get on his team. She should try to be part of what he's doing. She's gonna make sure that like he is the prize, which the man is. The man is the prize. I'm just gonna say that right now, ladies. The man is the prize. Yeah, but it's a woman that is trying to get the job. Not too cool to try and get the job. Not I look at a pick me as a woman who's actively trying to get the job. And I know people will say, well, she'll throw another woman under the bus for the approval of the man. That's not my problem. It's not. The fact of the matter is, all fear and love and war, right? All fear and love and war. Hey, you know what? Everything in life is a competition. Um, it's you know, you want to get the best in life, so you have to work for it. Simple as that. But a simp is a problem. It's the worst thing a man can do. See, the thing is, the problem with a simp, right? And this is not just the guy who's like, it's not just like the guy who is in it for just sex. The fact of the matter is, a man who's a simp made the fundamental mistakes that a man makes, that a man can make in life. One of the most crucial mistakes. He puts a woman on a pedestal. And you should never, ever, ever put a woman on a pedestal. Never. If you put a woman on a pedestal, that creates an expectation that she has to live up to. No woman wants that much pressure. Women don't really like pressure. Women like it easy. So you should never put a woman on a pedestal, because when she fails, and she will, right? She will fail, right? It's as simple as that. Women aren't built for pressure. That's why they don't have like, women quarterbacks and stuff like that, and But the fact of the matter is, she will fail, and she will hate you for it. But if you just treat a woman like, listen, you're just along for the ride, you're gonna help me out, I think that's a much more natural and healthier place for a woman to be, because I think that women don't want to be the bus driver, they want to be the bus rider. Thank you.
I agree with a lot of what Ephraim says, right? I also agree that a simp is way worse than a pick-me. However, I agree with his concept of a pick-me. I think the problem that I have with his logic of thinking is that a pick-me is not always picking a good man. The thing with pick-me's is that they just want a man. So he doesn't have to be a good man. He doesn't have to be a provider. He doesn't have to have any leadership qualities. She just wants to be able to say, I have a man. And with that being said, I think there's something men should be concerned about with that aspect, right? Like a woman who kind of just
wants to attach herself to you and anything that comes with you just for the sake of the fact that you have a penis is very much something to be concerned about. Also, we have to keep in mind that just because a woman wants a man, it doesn't mean that she knows how to really treat that man, and it doesn't mean she knows how to keep a man. It doesn't mean that she's going to cater to him in any particular or special type of way. It just simply means she wants to be able to say, I have a man. So I disagree with Ephraim on that particular part, but I do agree that a simp is worse. I think if we're going to look at men as being the leaders of society and the leaders of our communities, the leaders of our homes, they are going to be raising children, then yeah, I don't think it's wise to have a man who's willing to do anything or devalue himself just to gain the favor of women. Those are not the type of men that we need leading society. So I agree that a simp is worse, but I do think a pick-me is also a problem. They are usually the women who are having babies by the wrong men. They are usually the women having children out of wedlock. I don't think it necessarily, I get what Ephraim is saying, but I don't think it encompasses the real definition of a pick-me.
All right. Karan, BB, come on stage. Your expertise will be necessary. Lola, what are your thoughts on pick-me's and simp? Which is worse? Lola, you there?
Okay, when it comes to a simp, right? The word that comes to mind as far as like when people say it is a panderer, and panderer, I think, of someone who's not truly invested in whatever they're dealing with, and in this case, another person. It's more of a let me say good things to get something from you, to extract something from you, no matter how ignorant it might be, wrong it might be, immoral it might be, whatever. I'm trying to extract something from you, whether or not it embarrasses me or not. I want to get something from you, so I'm going to pander to you. That's take away from a simp, because I don't need a man to pedestalize me or talk too well about me. It's just a matter of just tell the truth. Like that's all that's really necessary. So I get irritated when men go overboard and it becomes a pandering situation, and that's when I start feeling the simp circumstance. When it comes to a pick-me, I have to agree with Ms. Diego that it is a matter of just having a man. And I'll say this: there was a circumstance or conversation I was in with a lady, and she made the statement in a room full of people that she was saying that African American women basically are just nut jobs, and we can't keep our man because we don't want good men. And she said that she doesn't care if her man cheats on her with 1,000 women, she's going to keep her man, and that's her culture, and they have a better culture as far as marriage. And it took a lot in me not to call her a pick-me and really like tell her seriously like what her problem is, for throwing African American women under the bus, like all of us, right? And telling us that because you would stay with a man that would cheat on you, have babies on you, give you STDs, that you're somehow better, and that's why this conversation is geared towards women like you, because women like you know so much about relationships. Like, to me, that was some real pick-me attitude, because that wasn't necessary. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, the only man that I want to impress, like, to a hard degree, no matter what anybody thinks, is my husband, right? And that's fine. Like seriously, that's notable. But at the same time, it's like, I'm never gonna sit and say, tell somebody that because I'm willing to take anything off of a man and because I have one, right, that I'm better. When in reality, when I compare that marriage right to my relationship, she don't even have a relationship with a man. She's liable to be a single mother any day now, right? It's like that pick me attitude that I don't like. It's like you don't have to, and that's what I think other people were saying about the throwing other people under the bus thing. It is that, but it's really why you're throwing people under the bus, because you want the attention of men in the room. It's not because you're a real solid chick for real. It's just because you just want the attention in the room. And if you're the type of woman that a man needs to cheat on 1,001 times, trust me, don't open your mouth about relationships. I just don't. I ain't trying to teach you how to be nothing. I ain't trying to say nothing. Just don't open your mouth. But for me, in terms of what is worse, I would have to agree with Christopher that there is no worse. It is a balance to it for different reasons, but both of them equally pose a problem. But when you tell someone, hey, you're being a simp or you're being a pick-me, everyone wants to tell you that, oh, you're judging or you're trying to put someone down, the whole spill. And it's really not that. It's just a matter of, listen, if you're in a room full of people and you speak in truth power, just do that. You don't have.
Can I ask you something? I'm sorry to interrupt your train of thought. I know that you're talking, but I was just curious. That woman that you said she would stay with her man even if he cheated 1,000 times. Did you happen to get her name on Clubhouse?
I got her name right. I know her name right. I see her in a couple rooms, but I don't want to put her on blast because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a pick me, but above being a pick me, I'm just a real person. Like I wouldn't throw her under the bus like that, even though she threw me and all my comrades under the bus. I'm not gonna throw her under the bus.
I'm about to say, Lola, we live on Clubhouse, we live on YouTube. We live on Clubhouse, we live on YouTube. You're more than welcome to. I'm not gonna stop you.
You don't have to say, but I don't mind everyone else jumping in her back channel. But let me ask you. You said about she throws other women under the bus, right? And I just wonder, right? So suppose you decide to not throw women under the bus because of the sisterhood. And I say that in quotations. Is that sisterhood gonna come and like change a car tire when it's broken on the side of the road?
No, I don't know nothing about it.
Is that sisterhood?
I don't know anything about sisterhood, so I can't answer about the sisterhood because my issue isn't about being a sister to nobody. My issue is if you're talking power and you're saying something true, you don't have to literally mark someone else as less than you because of what you're saying. You can make a statement, right? And just rest on that statement. You don't have to talk about someone else or put someone else down because we all know who's who in the room. That's why I don't have to say her name. If you know who she is, you know who she is. But I'm telling you that I point to things don't belong in conversations because it represents other mentalities that are just basically people doing the most.
Right.
And it's not to throw her out there. My point is to show something else, and that's the difference between me and Shorty.
No, I feel that.
Lola, so, what I was going to just ask, did you say that she said if she was married, it doesn't matter, or just in general, if her man cheats?
No, she said currently she did have children outside of her, but currently she is married, at least from what she said, or at least engaged. She's in a relationship.
Okay. So, and I just want to go ahead and explain a little bit, right? And I think the difference is, because a lot of times, like, women who don't live in America, the goal, honestly, for them, and I'm only saying this because I want to push back on the concept of her being a pick me. And I'm only going to say that because when you don't live in America, we are taught you're supposed to stick it out. Like, the concept of divorce is not a thing, right?
Right.
I'm not saying they don't get divorced, but it's not a thing. Like, you gotta be getting beat the hell up. Like, the concept of cheating is not enough to leave your security. And that's how, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not, no one has to agree. But that's the mindset of a lot of women who don't live in America. And I think, when you're talking about American culture, when you're not happy, it's okay for you to kind of just, let's dissolve this. I'm going to go my way. You're going to go your way. And even if we're breaking up the family, even if it affects the children, I am not happy, so I got to go. That is not a concept in other countries, right? We're kind of taught that you don't want to say don't rock the boat, but but you don't break up the unit for your own personal unhappiness. So that may have a lot to do with her culture, where they're not taught to just leave men because they're not happy. A lot of times in other cultures, men are looked at as a sense of security. You know that once you marry a man and you attach yourself to that man, there's a certain level that you, as a woman, there's a certain level of security that you as a woman get, and then of course your offspring. And a lot of women in other countries are simply not willing to leave that security, even if they are not happy. So I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying, and I can totally understand, especially in third world countries. I really can, and honestly, I think it's fair. However, what I don't like is when women come to the U.S. or even sit in other countries and want to throw, American women under the bus versus just making their point. That's all I'm saying. It's like, listen, if you're making a point about point, don't sit and say African American women, their problem is, and what they don't understand. And I'm like, do you understand the percentage of African Americans there is versus Africans in the diaspora? Like, we are a minority. So why is the focus on African Americans versus just Africans in the diaspora in general? Like, why are you singling out a particular subgroup? That subgroup has a plethora of subgroups in it and classes. And it's like, at the end of the day, if it's two different cultures, that's fine. American culture is not, other cultures. It's really not. But at the end of the day, we see life, or we see the world through the point of view of the culture that shaped us. So no one has a right to come in and say African American men, all they do is make babies, and because of my culture, we don't do that. We ride it out in wherever, like we're better. It's like, hold on. Like, just make your point. You understand? And don't throw other people, especially specific groups, under the bus unless it's about that. That's all I'm saying. Because I respect the cultural difference, and I know she's from a different culture, and she is. But it's like, that's not the issue. The issue is, listen, keep African American women out your mouth when you're talking about what you're talking about. Just make your point.
Okay, I feel you on that. I appreciate that. Karan, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Christopher?
Chilling, man. I wanted to ask you, what's your take on the topic? What could be more detrimental, a simp or a pick me?
What's worse? I think Simp should be struck by lightning.
Yes.
Or hit by a bus, or just vanish like a thing don't snap. Pick-me's. I think they don't really affect. I think it doesn't really affect the market as much as a simp. There's two ways that simp kind of affect the market. They affect your pockets because simp will do all this things to try to get the girl. She will spend all this cash and stuff like that, and then create expectations. And then, the woman will have this expectation, go out there, and then other guys might try to follow suit because she set that standard based on what the simp did before.
Now you can't take it to Applebee's.
Now you can't even take it to Applebee's, bro. So, simps are messing up the market, man. They're messing up the block. They're messing up the product. And, us men in the manhood, we got to set them straight and eradicate them from the world.
Matter of fact, when we get to the final topic, we're gonna bring that up about talking to other men. But Sensei, how you doing, my brother? The Black Brotherhood, Sensei, what's going on?
Sensei.
Trini Hotel.
Trini, come up off your mic, Trini.
Yo, I was changing my PTR, get my movement. Yeah, what's good, everyone?
What's good, my guy? I wanted to ask you, simp, pick me. Technically, I already know the answer, what you're going to say, but what's worse?
Yeah, bro, the Sims are worse, bro. Women want to be picked, so being a pick me is really nothing. But the Sims, bro, the Sims need to go. They're doing a little too much. They're going a little too hard, and they're giving these women inflated egos, and that's horrible. That's horrible for business.
1000%. Now, Tiana, you was here yesterday. You and several of women had strong opinions about a pick-me. 24 hours later, have you changed your mind?
Hey, how y'all doing? So 24 hours have passed, and my answer is still the same as it was 24 hours prior to me giving you the answer. You should have known. Things don't change overnight. I stand firm on my opinion.
I thought you had dinner, breakfast, brunch, or lunch, maybe a cup of coffee. I thought, you know what, her mind is going to change.
I had all of that, and my opinion still stays the same.
Yeah,
Okay, so my opinion is that a pick-me is worse, has been worse, will always be worse than a simp. Someone else mentioned it. You know, a simp is somebody who y'all feel like is paying money to get the girl. He's dishing out money. Now you can't take her to Applebee's. I know my worth. My worth is above Applebee's. It's going to be above Applebee's without a simp in my life. Whereas, nowhere that microwaves the food that they bring out on my plate. A simp didn't make my expectation of a date higher. That's just because I know my worth, what I like to eat. I'm a foodie and I'm not going there. A pick-me is 1,000 times worse because pick-me's throw women under the bus overall. Pick-me say stuff like a woman should know her place. A woman's place is the kitchen. Women should be following a man. All of these things that a woman doesn't have to do if that's not what she chooses to do. Someone else explained it perfectly. A pick-me is out there wearing heels, trying to get the attention of a man in a grocery store at 2:00 in the afternoon because she has nothing better to do. Another thing that a pick-me reminds me of women, single women.
Hold on, let her rock real quick.
And women in relationships living their best lives, going out looking good, looking sexy, dressed to the nine. And what does a pick-me have to say about it? Oh no, you need to cover up. How does your man feel about that? My man feels 100% okay with it. He's sexy. I'm sexy. We like to flaunt ourselves off, whether we're with each other or not, and we're 100% confident in that. But a pick-me will throw women under the bus like we're supposed to be covered up from the neck to the ankle, and that should change the respect that we get from men. So again, simps don't. You got to come out of your pocket more a little bit for dinner. You'll be okay.
Tiana,
can I speak to something, Christopher? Because there's a problem going on in society.
Please do.
And I, we spoke about it since we spoke about it last week. It's the rise of the don't pick me. They are dangerous. These don't pick me's. They have got to go. They don't want to go for the Jamba Juices. They don't want to go for the ice cream dates. They don't want to go for the walks in the park. They feel like they need to be validated by an expensive date, and that's how you don't get pick-me. See, here's the thing: if you like the guy, anything you do with him is fine. You don't need to be validated by where he takes you. You live in a first world country. You're not starving. Doesn't matter. You don't need to be taken on an expensive date for dinner. The food is never going to be as good as what you can cook at home in the first place. So what you're really there to do is just be there to get to know the guy, not be validated, not take pictures of the food so he can post it on Instagram. These don't pick me's who insist on going to these expensive restaurants. They are the new COVID. They are a pandemic. They want to spread their violence and dangerous rhetoric to these pure women who are just trying to get picked by a man.
So just tell us you broke. Just tell us you broke. No, it is because you can literally literally flip that though.
It's a shaming tactics.
You can literally flip that though.
An expensive restaurant. You feel like if you like the person, it doesn't matter where you go. That's the whole point. See, a lot of people think that, oh, well, if he takes me to this restaurant and spends $200 on dinner, that means he likes me more. No, if you feel that way, your self-esteem is low. You have to work on that. But if you go out with somebody and you just enjoy, like the whole point is that you enjoy the person's company. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And I believe in coffee dates. I mean, after all. I mean, and if she's nice to me, I've told, come on, right? Come on, what did I say? If she's nice, what happens?
Yo, she might even get a muffin.
She might get a muffin. A muffin can be very filling, all right? Don't get it wrong.
Y'all killing me.
Here's where you have to find balance though, right? So, okay. I've been with my partner for a while now. We have a child. We have a whole house. I've been through all of this. I'm past the whole dating scene of what y'all feel like someone should have to go through to be validated or not be validated. So you have to find balance. So I told him off rip, I do not eat low quality food. So those TGI Fridays, those Ruby Tuesdays, those Olive Gardens, I do not eat those.
Not too much on Olive Garden, but continue.
Don't be a food.
I'll do a soup and a salad at Olive Garden every now and then. But that's not my primary place to eat. So because I don't eat those places, I can afford to not eat those places. I want someone else who can afford to not eat those places. So I'm not looking for validation from that person. I'm telling you, I know my worth. I know what I can take myself out to eat. Without you, we're going to go to eat somewhere that I would eat at, or we're not going to go there at all. But trust me, we did plenty of park dates. We did plenty of museum dates. We did all of that. So you have to find balance. You can't just say because somebody doesn't want to eat cheap food that they need to work on their own self-esteem and self-worth and all that other stuff.
They do. Because hold on.
It's not about cheap food.
You listen to what whoever just said it has nothing to do with cheap food. You didn't listen to anything I said, did you?
No, hold on. Let me tell you what it is. The fact of the matter is, you got invited out. You should be happy that you got invited out. All right? That's what it comes down to. You got invited out. You're not paying for it. So you don't have to eat the shrimp at TGI Friday. You don't have to have the unlimited onion rings at Applebee's. You could just have a drink. The fact of the matter is, because you invited and you like the person. See,
yo, we trolling or is this for real?
So you must be one of those that your presence is a present, huh?
Yeah. Real quick. Let's go ahead and move the conversation forward. New speakers on the stage. D, how you doing? D going once, twice and gone. Bianca, how you doing? Oh, there she is. D. Oh, she just got a phone call.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I want you to ask. You know what a pimp, Jesus Christ. You know what a simp and a pick-me is, correct?
Yes.
What is worse?
You said what is worth?
Yes, it's 51. Like, it's not 50-50, more 51-49. Which one is worse?
I don't know.
Don't let me down here.
Come on, you got this, Bianca.
What is worth?
I can read you the definition if you need me to.
So play the Jeopardy thing.
I need to have that on standby.
I won't do that shit, bro.
Bianca's ready.
No, I'm not ready. I'm packing up.
All right, it's all good. We'll get back to you. Ken, my guy, how you doing?
Yo, very well, sir. How you guys doing?
Bless. We are live on Clubhouse and we are live on YouTube. This is a first. So I want you to ask my brother, Jesus, I gotta stop saying that. A simp or a pick me? Which one is worse?
I'm gonna have to say that I think a pick me is worse.
What?
It all comes down. 1 second, I'll finish. It all comes down to the lack of authenticity. A pick me will literally bend who they are as a person in order to attract someone else, whereas a simp might not have the time and the patience to deal with something, and he might just cough up some cash. It's not necessarily losing your authenticity. You just ain't got no motherfucking game. So I feel like someone who lacks authenticity is much worse than someone who, one, has cash to spend, and two, drops it in order to get over whatever obstacles they have socially, because both have problems speaking with women, obviously.
Can I say something?
One second, I'm gonna let you rock. I gotta read this definition of a simp. A slang insult for men who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women, especially out of a failed hopes of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them. So, Ken, you still think a pick me is worse?
I feel like it sounds like the word is starting to take on a new life in the song, because like where I'm from, like 4chan or like Twitch and all this shit, like a simp was somebody who was dropping and trying to donate money for a woman's attention. So if y'all want to take it, make it, and redefine what the word is,
no, that's basically the same thing, because the end goal is sex. That's why they're throwing all this money. And I know I don't have the thumbnail on Clubhouse, but the YouTube thumbnail is Steve Urkel, Laura Winslow, and Amira. One's a simp, which is Urkel. One is the pick me, which is Amira. Which one of those two is more dangerous?
Steve Urkel.
That's all I'm saying. Because simps are looking for sex at the end of the day. I just used the thumbnail as a good example to lure people in. But the real definition of a simp is somebody who is doing too much for sex. Where a woman, the pick me for a woman is this: a woman that is willing to do anything for male approval. She will embarrass or throw other women under the bus to achieve this goal. Now, here's the thing: women want a man with stability, provision, protection. So, at the core, a pick me cannot be worse than a simp. Do y'all agree with that?
I would have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
You know, and that's just because I feel like a pick me. I feel like both, because one, you're drawing this parallel, so obviously the two have something in common, and they're going about that thing that they have in common in a different way. They have a different approach. Okay, but ultimately the goal is the same. The goal is to save Princess from the castle, right? It's to get the girl at the end, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Can we agree on that? So I feel like if someone loses themselves and who they are to attract another person, it's worse than pulling out your pocket and sipping. I mean, that's just me. And I feel like the anti-simp mentality actually comes from a word that you keep on using, which is like a versus a square. Because the simp was always seen as a square in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So, is the terminology evolving? It sounds like it is. But pull out your wallet rather than breaking who you are, breaking your soul, selling your soul to try to get some pussy. I think that's worse than being a saint.
Can I talk now?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, damn, Karan is on the phone. Sensi, you there?
Yeah, bro, you see, I put on the PTR.
I'm gonna wake it up. I'm gonna turn over some tables. So I heard Ken say something that was very problematic. What he said, like they lost their sense of self. Ladies, you're not supposed to have a sense of self. You're not supposed to have a sense of self. You're not supposed to be on some magical carpet ride. Get that out your head. Get that whole magic carpet ride, sense of self thing out your head. What you're supposed to have is no direction for the most part, and then you find the right guy and then he puts you on the path with his purpose. But you're not supposed to be finding your own purpose. Your purpose, and you're supposed to come to him as an empty vessel, right? And then he's
Is this religion? Are you talking about religion or relationship?
It's religion. It's gotta be.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, like, the worst thing I think a woman can do is going out there and finding herself and seeking her sense of purpose. All of this magical carpet ride with Aladdin and Jasmine. Get that stuff out your head. What you need is a guy that can calibrate you in the right direction, right? And you need to, like, have the right people vet him, and then you go along with him. But you're gonna go out there and find yourself. No, that's a bad direction.
And everyone, you don't need the model type. You could get a frumpy looking woman. What's important is she's childbearing, and that she cooks, and that she cleans, and that she does those types of things. And as long as then she fulfills those needs, then you should be just fine. She doesn't have to be a supermodel and look great, or even take care of herself, as long as she has, like, childbearing hips and such, right?
That's not what I said, son. That's not what I said.
Wait, so I think I understand. I think I understand why you think a simp is worse, because you seem to want a pick me based on all the things you just said.
Yes, I do.
So your opinion on this is another boy because you want to pick me, so you're going to say a simp is worse because you want to pick me type of.
No. I just don't believe that whole find yourself and, just
But
working on myself thing.
you know that, right?
No.
Well, can't to that point. I would say, if you want to say simp is a male version of a pick me, and a pick me is a female version of a simp. So one, it's just based off of sex, for the most part. But there are some other characteristics that separates the two.
Not because of, like, a pick-me woman, right? Like, she'll agree with what the boys are saying just so she can be in line with the boys. So
correct.
Even if she didn't feel like that herself, that's different than what a simp is. A simp is going to donate to a woman's OnlyFans just trying to get attention. Well, really, he's probably not going to get any fucking play because she don't give a shit about my boy. So, I mean, like they're not the same thing. They're very different. And you have male pick-me's and female pick-me's, and you have female simps. You have women simps and men simps. You have women who will literally pay cash and shit for dudes' attention as well. So let's keep it on it.
Oh, and to Ken's point, about the OnlyFans, the next motherfucker that hacks my account and use my debit card, I will find you and I will slay you in front of your wife. Tiana, go ahead.
We don't apply the simp. We don't apply the simp label to women. That would never be a thing, right? But here was saying, right? Let's say Hotep Samuels kick some knowledge here that way. Listen. Women already do things in order to get male attention, right? There's a fact of life, right? Women do this stuff, right? So I have no problem with women going a step further and competing with other women and throwing them under the bus, right? Talking in extremes, right? Because women already compete with other women and judge women based upon certain things.
Shit, we got a sniper in the audience.
Allowing men to simp is horrible because you're giving these women inflated egos. And on top of that, you ain't getting no box. So you simping, making your woman feel like she's all this, she's special, and on top of that, you're getting no box. That makes no sense. That's detrimental. That's detrimental to me, Ephraim, Christopher, all men on the planet. That's crazy. That's nuts. Because if I want to go with a woman now, she standards so damn high because of some simp that $2 that she broke. That's crazy.
Actually, that's a good point. Hold on, real quick, ladies. I gotta ask you a question. Let's say if I'm average looking, I guess I just barely started being called handsome. Let's say if I was to pull, name the most gorgeous celebrity out there right now.
Rihanna.
If I was to pull Rihanna, does that mean my standards are on the Rihanna level, or did I just get lucky?
The standards on the Rihanna level.
Hell no! I just got lucky. I ain't that good looking.
I think it's somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle, because your standards can go up based on who you're dating and your lifestyle and stuff like that. And it could have been a stroke of fate. That it could have been a little bit of both. I'm gonna say either way.
Yeah, and also it depends what you're saying your standards or those standards are based on. If you're saying Rihanna for looks, then okay, you probably have reached maybe like top tier, right? But say you realize that she's not that good of a person or some other shit she's lacking, then would you say you really upped your standards? You know, I don't know. Would you say
I would have to say no still, because where I'm am right now. Now, to your point, if I break up with her or we break up, the question is my standard still on the Rihanna level, or did I just get lucky? I'll be perfectly honest. I just got lucky. God was just looking out for me. Case in point. If I was to upload a picture of my wife, you would see that God was looking out for me. If that kind of makes sense.
It's Rihanna, though.
It's other than looks. What standards are you guys speaking about? Because I'm not.
Yeah.
Can you take me real quick?
Jarvis, go.
Christopher, can I answer this?
After Jarvis.
I was answering. So Christopher, you was able to pull Rihanna. That's what's up. Christopher, would you? The girl serving popcorn at the movie theater, she bad as hell too. Would you try her?
If I have Rihanna?
Right now in my life, hell
no. Even after Rihanna, even after bag of Rihanna, it's a badass girl serving popcorn at the movie theaters. Would you try her as well?
Probably.
Hold on. Ken. I got it. Let's see.
Yeah, more than likely. Absolutely.
No. It could be Rihanna or a girl serving popcorn. If that woman hit a few markers, you gonna holler. So if I were to ask the ladies the same thing, ladies, if it's Idris Elba, you got him on Tuesday. Y'all did what y'all had to do. The dude filling up the Budweiser machine at the state bank. Do he get the same chance Idris had? If not,
you telling me I met Idris first and then I met him and I'm gonna choose him?
Yeah, you met Idris first. Okay, well.
Y'all standards, good God!
Yeah, I'm being honest, right? If I meet him first, it's Idris. But if it was the other way around, now that comes into play, like as far as like what I know about
the other way around though. I did like this specifically for this example. Even though Christopher met Rihanna, got with her, the girl at the movie theater, she still can get it. And this is where simps mess up. This is why simps are worse. A simp will set a new standard for you and push all the other men out of that, the even gateway for them to be able to get with you now. Because now that this simp has taken you to these 5-star restaurants for the last 2 months, has flown you out, has bought you things, you're going to be looking for characteristics of that simp in other dudes. That simp has destroyed the normal guy. Even if that simp was a normal guy, that simp probably was. He market. Simps will do anything. Man, listen, we're talking about pick-me's acquiescing and placating to what men want. A simp will change the world. Think about Urkel. Urkel invented a machine. He used his genius knowledge to invent a machine, not to save the world, but to enhance his chances at love. That's how much of a simp he is. That's how much of a simp he was.
That was simp activity.
He got genius level intellect. And instead of doing something that could contribute to society, he used it to become what a woman wanted. He used it to become Stephon K.
He became something that he's not.
I have a question. Do simps usually get married? Do they marry these women, or are they just getting the sex and then they're out?
Sex and goodbye.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they just tell women what they want to get the sex. And yeah, that's the issue. That simps are just like bad for the ecosystem. They're bad for the ecosystem.
So
it's safe to say those are the men that play the long game.
The Simps?
Yeah.
No, Simps are playing the short game.
You're right.
No, okay, so right, what I'm saying is, all right, cool. Let's say, I'm not trying to be funny, but actually, let's say you're a simp. We meet, we date, you're trying to get with me, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not giving you no real definitive answer as to whether I like you or not, right? But you want sex. So do you pretend for as long as you think it's gonna take for us to have sex, or after a while you're like, you know what, she's not with it, I'm out of here?
Well, here's the thing, like some simps will wait along, right? Like they might wait along, like Steve Urkel, like maybe one day, Diego will catch feelings for me, and then as soon as I get it, I'm in there. Or some simps are just like, listen, if it don't happen early on, I'm out. This hierarchy is simps. That's the thing.
Steve did a lot of simp activities. He's
playing the long game, simp-wise. Like he was playing the long game, but like a reasonable simp will go, oh, this isn't gonna happen, I'm out. That's what he should do. A reasonable man would go, oh, there's no energy here, I'm out.
So ladies.
But if you're simping anyway, why are you paying attention to the energy? Because you're simping, like you're buying it regardless, right? Like your goal is to love bomb this woman until she opens her legs. So why would they not play the long game? But I guess it becomes cost effective.
Yeah, it's like cost effective after a while.
Especially if y'all not in a relationship.
Applebee dates you can take her on. There's only so many PPR dates you can take her on. I mean, come on.
So many poems you can write her and mixtapes you can send.
Man, if you send a mixtape, you boys. Oh, don't get me started.
Go to the house and killing those mice and killing those bugs and stuff like that. Like, damn,
offering to fix on your car. The Simp's got a script, Diego. Like you, and you're in a harem too. You one of many girls that he trying to get.
So, it's like a slot machine.
Okay.
All right.
Is it safe to say then that most men who are in the friend zone are simps?
Yes.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay, I'm learning something. Thank you, Christopher. All right, cool.
And to be honest, the ones that are in the friends, well, that's a story for another day. We'll talk about the friend zone later.
So when guys say, "Can we just be friends?" That's a red flag of a simp.
Yep.
Yeah, because chances
value to him keeps it moving.
That's putting you on layaway.
Especially if he wants to hit. The goal is to hit. He'll be your friend if y'all could be have benefits.
Oh, well, okay. Can you separate a guy that? Okay, obviously we all want sex at some point, but can you separate? How do you separate a guy that wants to, have sex and not be a simp, and versus a guy that wants to have sex and be a simp? Like, how do you separate?
Sex should be organic.
I'll explain this. All right, so just understand this. From the minute he's talking to you, he wants to have sex. It's simple as that. But hold on. It only comes down to what you have to discern is if he wants just sex or he wants more than just sex. So that guy wants to have sex. Get that out of your head. He wants to have sex with you. They don't even have to like you. They want to have sex. Guys that have sex with women they don't like. All right, understand that.
That's weird. Okay.
No, it's not weird. That's another title, bro. But the fact of the matter is, it's a matter if you can figure out if he just wants sex. And usually you can tell this if he only talks to you about sex, he gets hot and cold. He always asks you pictures. He never offers to do anything with you. He only invites you out to come over. She only hits you up late at night, like stuff like that. I'm just looking for sex.
And Lola, sex should be organic between two parties.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have to come out of pocket or give you gifts just to get sex. You guys are adults. You guys came to an agreement.
Right, because that means that she's not really attracted to him, and on some level, maybe she's there hoping to get something monetary out of it. Okay, I see. It's more of a.
But she can get like benefits out of it. Like, oh, okay, well, look, he can like kill this mouse for me, or fix my laptop, or,
right.
Like do all sorts of like kind of fake boyfriend duties and stuff like that. So like some guys play themselves, but generally speaking. If a woman is into you, it's pretty early on, and if she's not, you'll know early on. But so like a simple, just kind of hang around.
What about the guy that comes and says that's honest and says, "Listen, I just want to be, and can we just be friends with benefits?" But they're honest about it. They're not beating around the bush. They're not throwing a bunch.
That'll only work if you're like extremely attracted to him, and like you're like, fuck dudes, fuck these dudes. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered with anybody else. So I don't really want to be bothered. I just want some dick. Let me rock with this dude. He looks like he might be good. So that's how it works.
Okay, because I'm just trying to understand. Because I honestly feel like if you would lie to anyone, in a sense, you're putting them above you, and nobody is above you for you to lie to. It just is what it is. But
here's the thing: most of the times when it turns into just a sex thing, there is no real conversation about it. Like no guy's gonna go, "This is just gonna be a sex thing." Or, I just want to hit that. It just kind of after a while, it just kind of is understood. You know what time it is. That's how it works. There ain't no mystery. There ain't no discussion about it. It's just understood.
Hold on, Ephraim. Let Tiana get in real quick, because then we're gonna go to the last topic.
I have a question, because I guess this is the main portion of where my confusion lies. Is how do you know a woman's standard was set because of things a simp does versus her standards just being set high there from her own expectations? Because a bunch of you are saying how a simp messes up the game because a simp will go in and make a woman think she is at that level to have those expectations.
I just said how level of attraction.
So people who you personally don't find attractive can't have high standards.
Look, it's this here, right? I think that people, they know where they are. They know when they're like a 4 or a 5 thing. But if we try to treat a 4 or a 5 like an 8, I guess it's up to game. But they know. I think people know what they are. They know what they are. They just they may not want to say it, but they know what they are. They know what they are. They know what their personality is. They know what they are.
So you feel like your pull is only for 4s, and
why did I say that?
Because that's basically by saying another man is messing up your game by making a 4 think should have higher expectations than what you think she should have. What does that matter to you if you're not trying to get the 4?
Well, Tiana, real quick, I'm gonna jump in real quick because we gotta get to the next topic. See, it's like the high value man conversation. When certain women who are overvalued think they deserve that high value man, because a simp said, "Baby, you're not a 4, you a 10." The fuck she is? Bring her around some high value man who date nothing but Tims. They will find a way, politically correct way, to tell them to move around. So that's what simps are doing to the market. You're bringing women into a certain group that don't belong, and that's why you look at Trini's PTR. That's why he's here. That's why Kevin Samuels here. He's telling women, this is what you're really worth. Leave these particular men alone because they don't want you. And the reason why they're in there is because simps told them they belong there when they really don't. You're more than welcome to have that inner confidence and build yourself up to get to that level. But somebody said, nah, baby, you ain't got to do all that work. You a 10. No. Let your father give you that validation. But when it comes to the real world, there's some women who don't belong in a certain category. Hell, I don't belong in a certain category. I know where I fall. We're just saying that some women don't know. And the reason why is because a simp put that battery in her back where it doesn't belong. That's what we're saying. Other than that, hold on, Efren, real quick, because we gotta go to the next topic. We've been on for about an hour, 30 minutes. All my homies in the audience, Patience, Sylvie, how y'all doing? Y'all come on stage. All right, I'm gonna play the last commercial of the day. Then we're gonna do a last call. But I do appreciate you guys for being in this room today.
Today's episode is brought to you by Aubrey Noel. Now, ladies, I understand in this pandemic, wearing a mask is easy to get complacent, especially if you are adamant about getting your face beaten. Don't worry, I encourage you to get back out there and make yourself feel comfortable. That's why Aubrey Noel is here to assist you when it comes to the eyelashes. Today, let's talk about Drew. Who is Drew? Well, let's just say Drew is very dramatic but cute at the same time. I would like for you guys to go to the website and try Drew out along with the other eyelashes available. And depending on which eyelashes you get, you might get a free gift with your purchase. So, with that being stated, go to AubreyNoel.com. AubreyNoel.com. That's AubreyNoelle.com. Also, you can follow Aubrey Noel on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
And then people start accepting the jobs for like 25.
All right, y'all. I appreciate the conversation, but let's keep it going. The commercial just ended, so let's do this. One last thing before we go. I talked about this last Thursday. And I promise this room gave me conniptions because if there's one thing I hate, it's emotional men who can't control themselves. The topic of last week's conversation, Diego will remember this. I think she was in the room. How do we, as men, hold each other accountable? There are too many. There's too many men out here who's fucking up for everybody. I know we're talking about simps and we're having fun with that, but in all seriousness, there's too many things going on in the black community, and there's not enough leaders. If you want to look at the statistics, what the divorce rates, you can look at the single parent household, and people are going to ask me, where am I getting these statistics from? You're more than welcome to go to ifstudies.org. You can go to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, CDC, HHS.gov, the census, or if you don't want to do all that hopping around, you can go to the black demographics to look it up. But black men, although we made a turn in the right direction in the last 8 years, like I tell people, unbeknownst to me, because I was busy making a family of my own, black men are doing better, but we need to make more strides so we can get the heart of the black community, the black family, back to where it should have been 60 plus years ago. So real quick, I'm going to talk to Ephraim and I'm going to talk to Trini real quick. What do you guys think about holding black men accountable, and how does that look like to you guys? Ephraim, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you can hold another person accountable. People can only hold themselves accountable. But if we are having issues with men being, more masculine in this country, I think the issue is that young men should just probably be going to school with young men and learning about manhood from male teachers. They should get rid of the boy and girl school, the co-ed schools, and men should go to school and focus on education and working with other men very early on. That's what I think the thing is. Because once they get to a certain point, there's nothing you can do. You can't really take someone that's 31 and say, hey, you need to be accountable. It's too late. But overall, society-wise, young men should be going to school with young men only, no girls. And should be taught by male teachers only, the male administrators only. And they can understand, they kind of know how to operate with each other, set standards and things like that. Whereas right now, the school system and the way it works in America is actually a little too gynocentric. It's too much based on what makes kids feel good and participation trophies and things like that. I think schools should be focused on objective measures.
Real quick, 30 seconds because we're gonna run out of time. I hate to cut you short.
Yeah, that's it.
I appreciate it, Trini. How do you believe we as black men should hold each other accountable? If you could do that in less than a minute, I would appreciate that.
At this point, I believe in excommunicating niggas. I think excommunication is until men get it right together. Because these men are gonna do it. Gotta go to lose. So, excommunication sounds like our punishment.
I appreciate that. I'm not mad at excommunication. Checkmate, how you doing, my brother?
Doing good, my man. Doing good. Just called this channel.
I appreciate it, man. I wish you was here earlier. We're on the tail end of the live stream of Clubhouse and YouTube. But real quick, I'm asking just one question. How do we as black men hold other black men accountable so we can better the community? If you could do it in less than a minute, I would really appreciate it.
Let me make this pretty quick. We already got a hierarchy. We need to stick to it. The brotherhood needs to be much more active amongst each other. Picking each other up and holding each other accountable. I think that's the easiest way to do it. I guess empowering us as a whole unit would be great. Coming up with a code of conduct for the black community would be absolutely paramount. And I think I'm going to land right there.
We definitely need a code of conduct. Now, with what all the brothers said, I'm going to quickly go down the list to the ladies, like 30 seconds or less, so we can go ahead and get out of here. Diego, what did you think about the responses that was brought forward?
I love the last gentleman's response. I wasn't looking at my phone, so I think it was in the check, but I love his response. I think the only difference between, American culture and other cultures is that code of conduct, right? Like there are certain societal norms that people have to abide by in order to be accepted by society. And I think, I think that's a great idea.
I appreciate it. Lola.
I would say, just from a critical standpoint, as they say, when you see something, say something. After so many go-rounds of that, the culture natural, and that's where we're coming from. People wouldn't stand for certain things to happen, even if they didn't live with you, even if they wasn't really a part of your community. And I think going forward, if we keep the momentum of when we see basically people being out of pocket and literally just speaking, when we see it in the moment, then that will steer the culture towards what is acceptable when individuals come into spaces, and then it'll translate into what they should be doing, their personal space. And I feel like over time that'll catch wings and we'll get to a better place. But that's just my opinion.
I appreciate that. Tiana, what's your thoughts on it? Tiana? It's all good. She probably stepped away. Patience, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Chris?
Great, great. We talked a lot today, but we're on the last topic for this evening. As men, how do we hold each other accountable? Ephraim brought up education and how boys and girls need to be separated. And in addition, Ephraim, I think they need to bring back shop classes. If they bring back shop classes to all schools, teach them how to build things, work on cars, that type of stuff. That way they have a trade after they graduate. Uh, Trini brought up exile. Those men who don't want to get with the program need to be exiled from the black community, or just for the most part, be shamed for what they're doing to the community. And Checkmate brought up a code of conduct, like a code that black people live by. I think that's something that all black men need. But just from the outside looking in, what do you think that we need to do to hold each other accountable as the men?
I think it's kind of systematic. Like you mentioned earlier about those statistics of the single parent households, a lot of them are raised by women. I feel like men need to start sticking by what they created, like they leave a lot of black men, leave a lot of black women to raise their black sons. And therefore they're learning everything from a woman teacher to a woman at home. They're not learning anything from men. And then there's men who have all the keys to success and financial freedom, all that, and they'll keep it and they won't share it within their community. So it's kind of like you're just generating the same cycle over and over again. So even if you hold those people accountable with their accountability, they won't know what to do with it because they don't have those certain necessary keys. And that's what's really tearing apart black men in the black community is that, people are so afraid to tell their friend or tell their quote unquote brother that what they're doing is fucked up or it's not right. It's almost like they're scared to confront what is right and what is wrong. And in society, they want you to grow up in the ghetto and be ghetto. That's what they promote. They don't promote coming from a good household. They don't promote, staying, loyal to your kids and being in their lives and teaching them. It's just a downward spiral, and it's continuing because the people, like I said, that have the keys to help those things, they keep it within themselves instead of sharing it and confronting the people who are doing something wrong. So I feel like that's the main issue.
Patience knows how to finish strong. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody on the stage, all the people that came in today. This is my first time ever doing a simulcast from Clubhouse and on my YouTube show. So you guys haven't, please follow me, follow the club at the top, subscribe to my YouTube page. Matter of fact, let me get back to my YouTube page. So all those who is watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. You guys know what you need to do. Like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube page, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and on Clubhouse. Cash App is the B.TS Side Show, or if you want to donate through Super Chat, you're more than welcome. We are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, I will give one lucky person $100. Just one. And so you guys know I'm a man of my word. We're already at 350. We need 150 more subscribers, and I'm going to give one lucky person $50. And moving forward, we will be having participants call in on the show. Participants waive all their rights to privacy. Just want to throw that out there. Other than that, people, my name is Christopher J. Those in my Clubhouse room, thank you guys for coming. You guys are the best. Those who are watching on YouTube, love every last one of y'all. Thank y'all so much. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.